Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel, and thanks for coming. This is going to be the last video for my fuel line installation. Like I said, or posted in my Facebook page, I reached out to NHRA and they cleared up some questions I had about flexible fuel line, what I can use, what I can't use. And the thing is that they're concerned about rubber fuel line just plain. As long as you have stainless steel braided flexible line, you can run just about as much as you want. So there'll be some portions of it that are, and I got a piece, like I said from before, of my previous videos, I got a piece of line that's solid that runs from pretty much down here to the front driver's wheel back to the rear wheel, just in front of that, underneath the car, and then from there I'll be able to use some flex line to go up and over and go to the gas tank. So without further ado, let me show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I took out the fuel tank because this is where I'm going to start. I want to be able to get a fitting on here so that I can use my AN fittings to plumb this whole line. I know that this is stainless steel or thick chrome steel, and it's got an inverted flare on it, which I'm thinking about trimming off, because if you look, it restricts the diameter of this tube, of the whole tube right here. Just trim that back like a 1/4 inch or something like that. So I got some pressure fittings I'm going to put on there, and I'm going to add some gaskets to it. So this is how I'm going to do it right here. Okay, hope you guys can see what's going on. It's starting to get dark outside. So I'm going to take, and I don't know if you can see this or not. Here we go. So here's part of the pressure fitting. I'm going to drop this O-ring in here. This goes on here like so. Slip the O-ring on. Now this pressure fitting don't come with this stuff. This is something I'm adding for insurance. Put the ferrule on, sometimes known as an olive. Got a little plumber's tape on here for insurance too. Almost forgot I was going to trim that end off. I have to if I want that out of there. Unless I take you know what I can do? Here's what I'm going to take a drill and just drill this out. Let's try that. Okay, here goes nothing. Go. That was easy. I like easy. And we got that. Now you can see the diameter is even bigger now a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, because like I said, it's getting dark out. I'm outside on my work table because it's easier to do out here. Slip this on here like so. And I'll put the ferrule on. There we go. I'm going to be, I know you guys are probably thinking, hey, you got a bunch of filings inside of the tube there, but I'm going to be pulling this whole assembly out of the fuel tank when I'm all done testing this out, fitting it, and I'll get some compressed air and blow that out. And then this is gonna go on here like so, and I got this piece right here. It's gonna go towards where the braided fuel line is gonna go, and there'll be a flare right here with an AN fitting on the end. I wonder where my crescent wrench is, but I got it right here. And I'll probably tighten this up in the car, but this is just to show you all, show my audience how this is all going to come together. That'll get tightened down a lot more than that. And then I'll put a flare on the end of this, and before you do that, you slide your tightening nut on, and here's the collar that goes along with, right? But that's the first part. I was lucky enough to get that done today, just to find this out for once. Things came out fairly easy for a change. Most of us have to struggle with this kind of crap, but moving on. The next step, put a flare on. Okay, so open this up, okay, and then you pick your size tubing you have, and you align this flush with the top. If I can get this in here so you can see, line this flush along the top here. Okay, so I put it in the vise. And the idea is to put this device on right here. Slide it over like so. Start tightening this down. Start twisting this, forming your flare. So I'm going to slowly turn this. Feeling some resistance. I'm going to back it off and see what we got. Where's it at? Here we go. And this is what I came up with. Find some light. Here we go. So here's what it looks like when I got done. Right? Here's the collar. Yeah. Here's the nut that tightens it on. Slick that, and that falls down in there, and you screw your fitting on. Right? I want to get the light on the camera for this, so it fits together like so, like this. Right? Once you get a close-up view of this, and you can see, like, I know it's hard to tell on the camera, but you can see like the very outer edge of the flare just comes to the diameter of the angle here. So I think I did it the right way, because you don't want that going up in there, or that's going to interfere with the threads, I think. And this part coming together like this, see? And screw this in here like so. Right? And there you go. Oh, awesome. Okay, I'm going to call this part of the project done. The fitting's on, made the flare, and everything looks good. Once the car's running, of course, I'll be checking for fuel leaks along the way. Moving forward from here, I will use some coat hanger wire and use that to bend and measure to the next point of the stainless steel line that goes to the front of the car to cut from my stainless steel braided line, and put the AN fittings on that and connect that all together. So got the Silverado back out of storage, Caddy's back in storage for this winter. Been doing some light maintenance on that, make sure that's up to snuff. So moving forward, put the gas tank back in the car and call that part of it done. Okay, so I got the gas tank back in, and here's the line coming out. This is why I use the pressure fitting. This gave me another inch, probably gave me another inch and a half or more coming away and coming out. So it has space for the steel braided line that's going to come up to it. It's going to come out of right over the top of this, and there's the hole I cut in the trunk area to get one of the two clamps off that were just inaccessible. So when this all gets put back together, I'm going to patch those holes back up. Line's going to come out right on the top of this. Going to come down here, right to here. So when I tighten this up, it'll probably angle up the way you see it sitting right now. So that's the next part. I'm going to get, like I said before, get some coat hanger wire and just start putting it around through here. It's going to be over the top of this, on top of this area right here, and come out down through here. And it's not in right now, but the fuel line's going to be like right around in here. So I got to put that in so I can get the length right. Okay, so I got the fuel line installed. This is the, like I mentioned before, the braided steel is going to come down and meet this. I got a couple of clamps in just to hold this at this end, so I know right what this angle is going to do. Some idea what this is going to do. Okay, so I was under the car and used the coat hanger to route this flex line here, and came up with a number 36 inches. So I'm going to make a cut here just to chop this off so I can get at it from the other end and wrap the tape and start making the cut for the AN fitting. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about how to do this, and I watched a few, and for me, I made a good connection here with this one. So I'm going to go with that method. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut this off, and then you tape it back here, and we'll move forward from there. So the idea here is to wrap. You got to mark where you're going to make your cut, and you wrap it with electrical tape right to the center, because you're going to be cutting through the tape. And you got to get it wrapped tight. Getting it started can be a little tricky. So when you make your cut, this is going to keep the braided steel covering from coming unfrayed, so that you can put your fitting on later. Believe me, you want to put a solid 1/4 inch on here almost of tape. I know that sounds like a lot, and maybe you feel you're wasting your tape, but believe me, I tried doing this with less and it didn't work. I end up having to cut the end off and start all over again. So my advice is use the tape. Okay, I got the tape on now. We're ready to go. Not quite 1/4 inch, but you get the idea. You want at least over 1/8 of an inch to hold this stuff so it don't come unfrayed on you. So when I did this before, I used the drill at high speed, and what I found what would happen is a lot of heat would build up and melt the the tape that's being held on here and would kind of get messy. So I slowed the drill down and it seemed to work better. Let's see if the same thing happens this time. Come on, too. Okay, there we go. Come on, there we go. And so you get this little nodules building up here. You gotta, I'm gonna trim this off. Just a good idea to do so. And I'll show you the end here in just a second. Okay, so this looks really good so far. This looks really good. Okay, so here's what the end looks like. I'll get real close so you can see. So you can see all the tape and the inner rubber hose and that thin line going around. That's the braid. And I think I got it nailed. Oh, there it goes. So now you can see. Let's get real close here because I don't know, some of the videos they just don't show. So I'm going to show you guys to see what you're dealing with here. So yeah, you can see the braid right there sandwiched in between the tape and the rubber. So let's take that off and I'll get the fitting ready to slap on there and see how this all turns out. Okay, so I got my fitting ready to go. So I'm going to take the tape off, right? If I can find the beginning of it. Yeah, we'll just make a cut and start peeling it off. Okay. Something I thought about here is like when you're taking this tape off, take it off so it's like coming away from the hose. Because if you go back this way, I don't know, maybe the tape will stick to the stainless steel braiding and you'll kind of pull it back and start it fraying. I don't know, but this is just something I thought about. I don't think it matters, but you never know. So I got like a little bit more here. Get that off of there. Okay, should be a couple more layers. I'm just gonna pull it towards me like this. Pull it away. There it comes. Almost there. Yep. Oh wow, it looks good. Now generally you only get one chance at this. So you gotta try and get it on there the right way the first time. Alright. Okay, so yeah, you want to make your cut as square as possible too. So I'm going to put this on and screw it. You got to fiddle with it. Get it on there. There it goes. Yeah, it's just a lot of trial and error here. Okay, when I was putting that fitting on, I thought this was going to be a disaster, but it turned out real good. Let me show you. I'm going to see if I can catch this on the camera now. Yeah, let's see. The light's right there. All right, hold on. All right, let's see what we got now. All right, here we go. All right, let's see if the camera will focus. This close. I don't know. Okay, yeah, you can see down in there. See how that rubber is like, oh, damn it. All right. Okay. Oh, damn it. You pot licker. I'm going to try taking it. There we go. Oh. I'm just going to take a still picture and then put it in. Okay. So I'm going to insert a still picture because it just wasn't going to work for the video. But, so down in here you look, and you want the rubber hose part to come right up to the edge of the threads where the male end goes in. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put the insert in for a couple seconds. You'll be able to see it. So now the next step, what you do is, you can go ahead and screw this in if you want, but it is recommended that you use some sort of lubricant, just so that nothing gets bunched up or bound up when you're assembling this. So I've got, you can use any, of course, the manufacturers, they manufacture a special oil for, assembling this stuff, but I think any light oil will work. So I got some Air 2 oil here. It's real light stuff. So I'm just you just put a couple of drops, put a drop on here, right, or two, and smear it up and down. Just so it makes it easier, just, put this together. And you screw it in. Or what about this end right here? Okay, so it's going to hold there. So, using the tool of your choice, you can tighten this up. Generally for an AN6, the big part's a 3/4 inch, and the small one is probably a 5/8. No, it is not. Alright, this 18 millimeter is going to suffice, because you're not going to torque this down really tight. So just turn this. As I said, they make special tools for this that are made out of aluminum, so that you don't scratch the anodized coating on here, but that is not going to affect the performance of the fitting. And this is getting really snug, and that's what it's supposed to do. And I think I'm going to set this back in the vise. Okay, continuing on to tighten this. And I'll show you when I'm finished. You're recommended to leave a gap at the end of about 1 millimeter. So that's what I'm going to do. And also too, if the part is going to be visible, okay, hopefully the camera's going to focus for at least this part. Here's what you get when you're done. Here we go. And if I can show you the gap, but yeah, right in here, you want to leave like a millimeter or so. I know it's hard to show, maybe 1/2 millimeter, but you're not supposed to go all the way down. And this also allows for you to make this look nice if it's going to be out in the public, if you're going to show your engine bay off, to get the flats all lined up. Looks pretty good. But I can tell you that this is really snug. This is, when you put this together, this is going to be really snug. So this is just going to hold together. So there you go. I have a completed fuel line. I'm going to get underneath the car now and test fit this. Okay, so this is why you have to make sure that you have all your parts preparation ready to go, because I made a mistake. So, probably earlier, because this video has been quite a long time in the making because of work and all that kind of stuff, I had ordered a 45-degree angle fitting for one of these ends, and I didn't put it on. This is the 45-degree angle that I should have put on. So I'm not going to show all that, but I'm going to start taking this apart and see where this goes. Okay, so I got the 45-degree angle fitting on. Let's put it underneath the car and fit it up, see how it looks. Okay, I got it fitted. Here's the hard line. the 45 degree going up. You're probably asking, why has he got some black electrical tape around here? Well, when I measured this braided steel line to do this job, I measured it out at 34 inches, and that was going to be the exact amount that I needed. And so when I actually cut it, I cut it to 36 inches because I knew that through here I could like loop it up a little bit, you know, to have some wiggle room, all that kind of stuff. But what ended up happening, I chewed up those 2 inches putting this 45 degree angle on, because I had to make a cut to put this back on, because I couldn't rebuild it the way some of the pros do. They actually do this thing for a living and build their race cars, all that kind of stuff. So when I made the cut, it didn't quite come out the way I'd hoped, and I didn't want to cut another piece. So I got it to work. I got it to go on the way it's supposed to. But in the process of pushing this on, screwing this on, all that kind of stuff, back here some braids, I guess you'd call, threads, were poking out a little bit, and every time I grabbed onto it I was poking myself in the finger, so I just wrapped it up. And so I got it all put together, gave it the tug test. It's on there snug, so I'm not worrying about it. I just put that on there just so it was more comfortable to handle. So here's the screw. I got the first bracket in. This is the trunk access panel I cut, just making sure that I have access to that. So let's take a look and see how that's working out. Here's the one behind the seat. Got that screwed in. Check out the trunk. This is jacked up in the air. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to see. Oh, there we go, right there. So you can see down in there. When I get the car lowered down, I'll be able to get into the trunk and actually put that where it's supposed to go. So there it is. So that concludes the fuel line installation video finally. For those of you who've been following along and become subscribers to my channel, I'm greatly appreciated to it. This has been kind of a real pain in the ass. So it's a done deal now. I'll take that braided line back out and run some gas through it, wash out all the particulates from the cutting and the installation of those fittings on there. And then after this, it'll be installing the fuel pump, hooking that all up, and taking the outline for that up to a new carburetor and dual feed setup with a pressure regulator. And I'm probably going to, well, not probably, but I am going to take the intake manifold off and paint that Pontiac blue and try and spiff up the engine bay as well. It's kind of dusty and showing its age, all that. So that's going to get done too. So I want to thank everybody, my audience, my subscribers, for sticking with me on this deal. And also want to say that this is the last video you're going to see for a while, because when I post this, everybody's going to see this. You'll know that the holidays are upon us, and we all got to like shop for Christmas if you can, all that kind of stuff in between work and all that. And not only that, I got a health issue I need an operation for, and that's going to be coming January 11th. And so I'll be convalescing after that gets finished, return to work, get back into the swing of things before I can start crawling around working on a car again. So I want to conclude this video by wishing everybody happy Thanksgiving and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And let's hope that things in this crazy world that we're living in improve, and everybody stays healthy as you can, all that kind of stuff. And so that's it. I'm signing off.